uh, October 2023 current affairs for CLAT. Okay,
Okay.
let's
Okay,
begin.
sir.
The first articles today we are going to discuss is the legal provisions related to surrogacy in India. Already in the last year in 2022, they have asked questions on surrogacy, and we have also discussed about the surrogacy. Those who were present in the lecture, we have discussed what kind of passages they have asked. It was the question were related to the legal reasoning, and this year they might ask about the caste census. We will be discussing about this Bihar caste census. This is one of the important aspect or the an article for us. I hope that they will ask about the caste census. This is what I think they may ask. Okay, and already they have asked surrogacy, but still we will discuss. Then Supreme Court's verdict on same-sex marriage. This is also very important. So these two aspects, I think, we will be discussing in today's lecture, and also about this Israel-Palestine conflict. And India's position with regards to this Israel and Palestine. That is the Hamas and Israel war. So this aspect is also very important. They may ask a passage on it, and we will have to answer certain questions. Okay, let us start then. Whenever you face any technical problems, let me know. Okay. This is the article we are going to discuss. The Supreme Court has protected the right of parenthood. You know what is this surrogacy is all about? We have discussed when I was in class, so I'm not going to dwell into it. Certain things I'm just giving hint. What kind of questions will come? We'll discuss only that. The article related to the provisions of Surrogacy Regulation Act 2021. Okay. What is surrogacy basically? The act defines surrogacy as a practice where the woman gives birth to a child of intending couple with intention to hand it over to them after the birth. मतलब किसी और का बच्चा हम पेट में रख रहे हैं और वो बड़ा होने के बाद उनको लौटा दे रहे हैं. This is what surrogacy is. Okay, already there was a passage in 2022's paper of CLAT. So this year also it was in news, so they can repeat these questions. Surrogacy is prohibited for commercial purpose. Remember this. We do not allow surrogacy as a business. It is only for the altruistic purpose. Those couples who are unable to have the or the woman who is unable to bear the child at her own is given only this kind of facility. And we know the acts, the conditions they had in previous exams. They had asked questions related to this, so I will skip this because already we have discussed. So we will be discussing this Aadhaar also, because Aadhaar is very important. Screen is visible, no? Yes or no? Vanilla?
Yes, sir, visible.
Thank you. So what is Aadhaar? Aadhaar is actually the one of the most coveted program of India, which started in 2009, and actually it started in 2016. The Aadhaar Act of 2016. Aadhaar Act of 2016. That is important. So during UPA once government, they came up with this idea of identity card. There should be one identity at least for the residents of India. Remember this, that Aadhaar card is not the proof of citizenship. Okay, remember this. If you have Aadhaar card, it doesn't mean that you are citizen of India. Remember that even if someone, let us say someone from United Kingdom or United States is visiting India for, let us say, 6 months. So after 6 months, he or she is eligible to have the Aadhaar card. So it doesn't mean that he or she becomes the citizen of India. So Aadhaar card is not the proof of citizenship. Remember this. So it is just proof of residence. It means that you are living here. It is a proof of residence, not the proof of citizens. So, while discussing fundamental rights, also, you should remember that there are certain fundamental rights which are only for the citizens of India, and there are certain fundamental rights which are not available to the foreigners. Let us say Article 15, 16, 19, 29, and 30. These articles are not available to foreigners. These fundamental rights These fundamental rights are only available to citizens of India and not available to the citizens of other countries. Those, for example, some people are working here in India as a foreigner, as in some multinational companies. So they will not get benefit of these articles, of these fundamental rights. Okay, remember. And what is Aadhaar? Aadhaar is actually a 12-digit number. All of you have Aadhaar cards, or is there anyone who don't have Aadhaar card?
We have, sir.
Okay. If you have Aadhaar card, you might see there is a 12-digit number. There is a 12-digit number like this. And this is called as unique ID. And the Aadhaar card are issued by the authority called as UIDAI. I'm just writing it here. UIDAI. Unique Identification Authority of India. This is the authority. It is a statutory body. Statutory body. What is the meaning of statutory body? The body which is established by an act is called as statutory body. Okay, remember this. The bodies which are mentioned in the constitution are called as constitutional bodies. For example, Election Commission of India is a constitutional body. UPSC is a constitutional body. Finance Commission is a constitutional body. Yes, for example, Election Commission of India's article is 324. Then Finance Commission article is 280. So these bodies are called as constitutional bodies which are mentioned in the constitution. Is it clear? And the bodies which are not mentioned in the constitution but are provided with the act are called as statutory bodies. For example, the CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. It is not mentioned in the constitution, but it is provided by the act of Delhi Special Power Act. So this is called as a statutory body. Statute means law. Remember this. Statute means law. We call as, we sometimes refers to Roman statute. So this is a law. Remember. Okay, just moving ahead. Every individual will have a unique Aadhaar ID, which will be linked to academic bank credit. So, what is the benefit of Aadhaar? Aadhaar is for the purpose of transferring the benefits. Like this is called as DBT, direct benefit transfer. So, for example, you are filling the form for scholarship. Let us say the category scholarship or minority scholarship. So scholarship is credited to your account. Earlier what used to happen is that scholarship used to come at the college level or at the school level, and then you will have to collect. You used to have collect. But now the scholarships are being directly credited into your account. that is called as direct benefit transfer. This is the benefit of the Aadhaar. Remember that. So this was about the this is the Supreme Court's verdict on same-sex marriage. We will be discussing this. A 5-judge bench headed by Chief Justice of India. I think you are unable to see, right? This highlight. Okay, I will not highlight. Now you can see. Yes, a five
Yes, sir.
a 5-judge constitutional bench headed by Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, unanimously declined to recognize same-sex marriage. So we are not giving permission for the same-sex marriage. It means two male cannot marry, two adult male cannot marry, or two adult female cannot marry amongst themselves. In other countries, they are being given permission, but in India, we do not have. Only marriage can happen between male and a female, according to our constitution or according to law. So this was the one of the significant and landmark uh, act in the history of India. So I hope that this type of questions they can ask in a passage of GK and current affairs. So while preparing one passage, I am expecting this year is the caste census, and then again this Supreme Court's verdict. These two passages are expected. Is it clear? Okay. So uh, important aspects that we need to discuss is this: right to marriage is not the fundamental right. Remember this: right to marry, not a fundamental right. They can say right to marriage is a fundamental right. So they can, change this not to is. Remember this: right to marriage is not a fundamental right as per the five judge constitutional bench. Now, this when you see things like this, 2:3, it means out of 5 judges, 3 were opposing the same-sex marriage and 2 were in support of same-sex marriage. So you have 5 judges like this sitting and discussing. So out of 5, these 3 opposed and these 2 even supported the same-sex marriage. So this is the ratio, 3:2. Like in Keshwananda Bharati case, you know about this basic structure of Indian Constitution. While delivering the verdict, it was 7:6. 7:6. These were 13 judges, largest in India, the largest constitutional bench of India. Why? Actually, in most of the liberal countries of the world, they are giving permission to the same-sex marriages. It means that 2 adult men can marry or 2 adult female can marry amongst themselves. But in India, we are not giving the permission. We means Supreme Court is not giving the permission. So that is expected. This is the LGBTQ plus rights. You know about this LGBTQ, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transnational queers. So LGBTQ, you can afterwards you will know about them much more. We'll be discussing in just because this is CLAT's exam I'm discussing, otherwise I wouldn't have discussed much. but just because from legal perspective it is very important, and it will continue to be important, because again some people will file petitions, and then there will be again discussions. So this article is related to the online or a digital India case. So you need to remember this. Okay, let's start discussing about this digital India concept. All of you know about digitalization. Okay, what is digitalization basically? Earlier you used to give payment. You used to give the cash while, let us say, you went to hotel and ate something. You used to give cash, but afterwards, after the demonetization, and particularly after the corona, people are mostly using phone pay, Google Pay, and UPIs. So we are mostly uh, you know discuss using these online platforms. So this is also, there are pros and cons to it. What is the benefit of using the online platform is that it is very easy to access. It is very eco friendly. It is also very user friendly. So these are the benefits. But what are the problems? The problems are related to privacy. Remember that the right to privacy is a fundamental right according to Article 21, that is called as Puttoswamy case. This Puttoswamy case is very important from right to privacy perspective, because while delivering, that was also very historical and landmark judgment given by Supreme Court of India 2 3 years back. So you should refer, after the lecture, go and study about the Puttoswamy case, that is Aadhaar verdict. It is famously called as Aadhaar verdict, which talks and gives primacy to the privacy over, it gives primacy to the privacy and safety over the government. um, you know the one concept which you should remember is this data localization. Data localization is what, let us say we are using Google Chrome, and we are using YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and whatnot, Snapchat. So we are uploading our images, voice notes, videos. Let us say we are using this Swiggy and Zomato and all of them, Amazon, Flipkart. We are ordering books. We are ordering the glossaries. We are using DMart applications. We are using many applications. We are using. So all of our data is with them. These companies, these multinational companies, all of our data. Let us say what I eat, what are my habits, uh, how much time I spent on mobile, what are my choices of clothes or books, what kind of books I read, what kind of clothes I wear. So these all things are known to these companies, because this is the algorithm they have developed, because we purchase and they keep the record. And for example, while searching and surfing on YouTube, while, let us say, we watch cricket, so every time they are going to give us more and more recommendation of videos related to cricket. This is called as algorithm. Happens because they save our data. And what Supreme Court is saying, that data should be deleted after 6 months. For example, uh, we are using Google Chrome. So after 6 months, so our data of Google Chrome should be deleted by Google Chrome servers. It should not be kept with them as well. It should be deleted, permanently deleted from the parent companies like Google or Microsoft or other companies. So, and data localization is what, for example, Google is American company, and let us say this person is Indian. So his data is in the server of Google, and Google is in USA, that is in America. So our data is localized where? In the server of America. So what our government is demanding is that the data of our citizens should be stored in the servers of India only. So companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, SpaceX should what should they do? they should create servers here also in India, and they should store data locally. This is called as data localization. Now, the special leave petition. We will be discussing special leave petition also. So there are three different words from the legal perspective. One is special leave petition, another is review petition, and another is curative petition. Special leave petition is given against the decision of the lower court or tribunal. If you have to appeal against, for example, uh, I have been convicted by the High Court, so I am going against the High Court in the Supreme Court. So I can appeal against the decision of any lower court in the higher courts. That is special leave petition. It is according to the Article 136 of the Constitution. Okay. It is not an appeal by right, but it is guaranteed by the discretion of the Supreme Court. It is up discretion. Whenever I will use the word discretion, it means it is not compulsory, it is not mandatory, but it is the discretionary power of the Supreme Court or High Court. Let us say, while discussing the powers of president and governor, you might have studied the discretionary powers of president and governor. For example, I'm just giving one example of discretionary power of governor. So let us say no party. Let us take example of Telangana. There are 2-3 major parties. So no party got the majority mark. No party got the majority of votes. So it is now up to the governor of the Telangana to call the president or the member or the leader of the largest political party who have got the largest votes, largest number of seats. The party who has won the largest number of seats will be called by the governor. This is the discretionary power of the governor. Remember this. Now you have review petitions. It is according to Article 137. According to Article 137. Curative petitions is not mentioned in any of the articles, but it is evolution as per the case of 2002. That case is not very important. You know about Mahua Moitra? Mahua Moitra is one of the parliamentarians who is very vocal about the issues of. It's one of the voice of opposition. Nowadays, this government is actually curbing. Mostly, it is said that there is lack of voice of the opposition parties. But if you look at the Mahua Moitra, who is from the Trinamool Congress. The Trinamool Congress is a party of West Bengal who is in power, headed by Mamata Banerjee. So Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra is one of the vocal voices in the parliament. The case is related to her. That's why we are discussing. The case is related to Mahua Moitra for providing her parliament login ID and password to a businessman in return of gifts and monetary favors, so that he could himself pose the questions directly in the House of on her behalf when required. Now there are 2-3 type of questions in parliament. You know about star questions, unstarred questions, short notice, and private member. These two, the star and unstarred, these two are very important. In your GK, and even in UPSC they have a number of times asked this question. Remember the what is the meaning of star question and unstar question? Firstly, listen carefully. What happens is that, let us say I'm an MP, I'm a member of parliament, and I want to ask questions to government regarding the status of education. So how much amount of money they are spending. So in two ways I can do. One is that I can ask the question orally without giving any draft, without asking it in written form. I can just ask orally. And it means that, sorry, I am expecting answer orally. These are the star questions. I am giving this one page questions to the Minister of Education. I'm expecting answer from him or her. So what I will do is that I will put just star mark. I will literally do this mark star on my question. It means that the speaker will tell the minister to answer the question in written form and not in the written form, but only orally. So this is the star question. It means that star questions are answered orally, and unstarred questions should be given in a written format. So two things you must remember finally is that the star questions will be answered orally and unstarred questions will be given a written answer. That is important. And in polity, there is one very important chapter called as Parliament, where you discuss about the Prime Minister and Council of Minister and President and Governor. This whole concept of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and the passage of bills, how they become from bill to act. So this chapter is very important. They can ask questions. This is what I'm telling you. The Bihar caste survey. You know, till 1931, the census, you know, census was started in 1881, okay, by Britishers. When the census started in 1881, the census of India started every 10 years. Okay, till from 1881 till 1931, every year they used to publish data regarding the census, and it used to include the data of SCs, STs, and backward classes, and many things. But what happened after 1931? The data of backward classes were not published. Okay, remember that. From 1931 census afterwards, this is the last census where the data of backward classes were published. But afterwards, from 1931's census, they have not published. The government of India have not published the data on the backward classes, that is OBCs. But there were continuous demands that the data should be published. And now we are in 2023. Almost 100 years have passed. And in last 100 years, people from the backward community are continuously asking government of India to publish the data. For example, the UPA government, that is the Congress government, in 2014, they did the census. They collected the data, but the government of India, the NDA government, did not publish for certain reasons. So now people are demanding that the data related to backward OBCs or the backward classes should be published. This is the demand of the backward community. And I think Andhra Pradesh is the first state to abide by it. and Bihar is the state where they have successfully conducted the caste survey. So, and I am also expecting questions on the caste survey. We will be discussing in detail this. The caste survey report, the caste survey report of 2022, recently released by Bihar government, showed extremely backward classes and other backward classes constitute more than 63% of the population, and the unreserved general category of so-called forward caste is just 15.5%. So it means that the EBCs plus OBCs constitute about 63% of the population of Bihar. Out of 100 people, 63 people belong to OBCs and EBCs. Remember that. For example, this Yadavs, Kurmis, these are the caste of the backward classes in Bihar. As I have said you, this the census is being still conducted starting from 1881 till 1931. From 1951 to 2001, each census conducted in post-independence India, that is when we got independence, included the data on SCs as well as STs, but not on other groups. So they have omitted or deleted or not published the data of other backward classes. Remember this. For us, actually, this Mandal Commission is very important. Mandal Commission. Mandal Commission is one of the most important commissions. Okay, what it said, its recommendation not only strengthen the already strong caste consciousness among the OBC, but also managed to solidify the bond between upper caste as well as the lower caste. Okay, it was headed by BP Mandal. Mandal is the name of person. BP Mandal. Mandal is a surname. It was constituted in 1979. Remember that. And what it said in its report that almost 52% of India's population is OBC. It means half of the population of India is OBC. Okay. And what are the articles which are involved? Article 54A, which allows the state to make special provisions for advancement of socially and educationally backward classes of citizens. Is all about reservation. This is also called as a socio-economic caste census. Okay, this is conducted by the Department of Rural Development, and in urban area it is conducted by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. There are two departments which are involved. One is Department of Rural Development and another is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And you must understand that the last census we have is 2011. It was expected that in 2021 again the data should have been published, but you know what happened? We faced the problem of COVID-19. So due to corona, we could not collect the data. The government of India, because everything was shut, right? People were locked up in their houses. Government machinery was also not working to the mark. So there were a lot of problems in collecting the data because it is one-to-one contact. People, the government employees, the government people come to our houses and they ask for data. How many kids you have, whether you have gas connection, with whether how much of education you got, whether your kids are educated or not, how much you earn. This kind of questions they ask. What is your car, qualification? This kind of questions they ask while collecting the data for the census. They come up with the ID. Actually, this labor rates we have yesterday discussed. Now this is also very important. Israel at war after the Hamas attack. You know, look, this is the data of Israel and Palestine war. I hope it is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, look at this image. So what happened? Actually, this Israel and Palestine issue is one of the most complicated issues in the world. What happened that there were empires. One of the empire. Now we will be talking about the history, so that in your exam, if the passage comes, and I'm also expecting question, and I'm also expecting passage on this. So pay attention. That earlier there was one empire called as the Ottomans, the Ottoman Empire. So this area belonged to them, the Ottomans, the Turks. Today's Turkey was ruling over here, all of the area, even including the Saudi Arabia, Iraq, most of the part of this Palestine, Gaza, Egypt, everything, Palestine, everything they were ruling. But what happened in 1917? In 1917, there was one declaration that is called as Balfour Declaration. Because in 1918 onwards, this Ottoman Empire began to fall. Although this was an empire of almost 800 years, it sustained. 800 years they ruled over the area, but afterwards they could not fight well with the colonial powers and they fell miserably. So there were agreements. So what happened? You have World War One and you have World War Two, and in World War Two, Hitler killed 40 lakh Jews. He killed 40 lakh Jews. He murdered, he massacred the gas chambers, the Jews. During 1946, okay, this is the period from 1940 onwards, in 1940s. In after the World War II, Jews began, these Jews, this is one of the community, the Jew community. The Jew community began to settle down in this area. Like you see in 2017, 1947, they began to settle down like this with the British help. Afterwards, there were clashes between the local Palestinians and the settlers, the Jews. They were having fights and clashes. This continued, and there was one plan of partition in 1947 with the help of Britain. So land was divided. So one one important concept you must remember, the solution is called a two-state solution. This term, UPSC also have asked this question. Two-state solution. What is two-state solution? It means that there are certain people of the world who think that the two states should be created. One is the independent Palestine, and second is the independent Israel. These two states should be created. India also is of that opinion. The Ministry of External Affairs of India have specifically mentioned that India stands with the two-state solution, and most of the countries of the world, uh, agree with this idea of two-state solution. So this is two-state solution. Afterwards, what happened? The Israel and Palestinians continued clashing with one another for the land. So the look at the area how it changed, and you see after the attack of Hamas on October 7. Before that, there was one war which is important, is that Yom Kippur War. They called is called as 7 days war, because it was a war of these Arabian countries with the Israel. This is called as 7 days war. So remember this. For you, the only concept which is very important is that what is the stand of India? The stand of India is two-state solution. This is India's official stand. This is what UPSC also has asked previously. Remember this. Okay, they will give you passage, and from that passage you can infer certain things. Probably they will ask questions here also. Mostly, this is what I have discussed. This is what I have discussed. This is Yom Kippur War. Iron Dome is important. Iron Dome is the defense air system. Okay, remember that. It is the then you have shutdown of Afghan embassy. You know, Afghan has also been ruled by the Taliban over there. Okay, so and I'm just facing some technical problem. There are technical glitches. Let us see. Okay, again this the same topic which we have discussed about the Israel. India sends medical supplies to the disaster relief aid to Gaza. Gaza is area of the Palestine. There are two main groups. One is West Bank, and another is Gaza. These two blocks is collectively called as Palestine. Remember this. India has sent, because due to war, I think 2,000 people from the Israel have been killed, and I think almost 16,000 people from Gaza have been killed. So India have sent medical help to what? Gaza, because India is medically very strong. We have good doctors, we have generic medicines, and we are also called as the generic hub the world, even to the this Western. I mean, to India is famous for the medical tourism. People from African countries come in India and settle down in India for taking the medical benefits, like for the treatment of cancer, for the treatment of heart surgeries, and many more complicated surgeries. Our doctors are very famous. India is very famous in medical terms, and India is also famous for this vaccine diplomacy. We also, during Corona, also India provided a lot of vaccines to the countries of the uh, African continent.
Sir,
Yes.
why India is supporting Israel?
India is not supporting Israel. India is supporting both the countries. Look here, I will read out for you. This is called as India Imbalancing Act. Look, if India would have been supporting Israel, why would have India sent the medical supplies to the Gaza? Actually, India's position is clear. India is India is doing act of balance. Here it is Gaza, here it is Palestine. Okay, so India is here. What India says is that we will agree for the two-state solution. So both the nations, Gaza as well as Israel, should live peacefully. That is the position of India. Is it clear to you? That is India's position.
Okay, sir.
And I think India have sent aid in tons, medical aid in tons. So remember that. So India is not supporting Israel at all. India is it's supporting both the. Actually, India is supporting Gaza for that matter because India supported two-state solution, which Israel is not accepting. Israel is not in favor of two-state solution, but still India, although India have a very good relation with Israel, India's defense relations with Israel is very good. So we have this what we called as this defense uh, exercises as well as defense equipment sharing, intelligence sharing with Israel. But still, and even uh, this the sending medical help or medical relief aid to Gaza, it shows that is India is having sympathetic attitude towards the people of Gaza. Is it clear? Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir, clear.
And this is called as Operation Ajay. People stuck in Israel, the Indian people stuck in Israel are taken back. It's called as Operation Ajay. So remember the places which are in news. One is this. Look, this is the very small country. Look at the size of India and look at the size of all of all of Israel. This is this only one point. This is the size of Israel, and you can imagine the size of Gaza and Palestine, Gaza and then West Bank. Okay, so for us, this was important. Agnipath scheme is again very important. It's very controversial scheme. Uh, you know, you know what is Agnivir scheme? All of you know Agnipath scheme. Sorry.
Yes, sir. It is a 4 years agreement.
Yeah. So Agnipath and Agnivir are two different concepts. So the things which are very important for us, only we are discussing that, not all. This is also important. The Prisoners of India report. That report is very important. Now what happens is that recently Supreme Court Committee on Prison Reform found suicide to be the leading cause of unnatural death. Okay, what happened? The suicide rate among the inmates was found to be the more than twice in comparison to what is recorded in the general population. In, for example, the people who are in jail, they tend to do suicide more than people like us who are not in jail. The common population or general population. Let's say 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 1,00,000 is doing suicide. So 2 in 1,00,000 is doing suicide in jail. So it is double. Remember that. The prison deaths are labeled as natural and unnatural according to NCRB data, that is National Crime Record Bureau. Okay, National Crime Record Bureau, that is NCRB. In 2000, and I'm just, this is what I'm reading. Okay, the prison deaths are labeled as in 2021 a total of 2,116 prisoners died in judicial custody. It means they died in the jail. Well, almost 90% of cases recorded as natural death, but almost 10% were unnatural. Unnatural, most probably due to illness and suicide. The prison reforms are also very important. Okay, just 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I think we'll continue for